Hello. Okay. So I wanted to make a, hopefully this video is not too long. I'm not really a big like guide or editor kind of person, but I've been grinding Jax Mileena for like a week straight. I've had some pretty relatively good success. I think it's a really fun cameo. I think there's a lot to the cameo, and it's not really like in your face how to go about playing it. So I just kind of wanted to maybe talk a little bit about what I've discovered. Hopefully some of you guys find this information useful. Maybe you know, you play Mileena and you want to try out a different cameo. Maybe you've never played Mileena, but hopefully, you know, you see this and you're like, oh, this looks fun, let me give it a shot. I don't want to go too deep into what makes Mileena Mileena. There's so many videos out there and really good content creators that'll explain to you a lot of the fundamentals of Mortal Kombat 1 and Mileena as a character itself, kind of what she does. But I think it's worth talking about, you know, just as a background, just some things that are really strong with the character. For one, your standing 1 is 7 frames active and +1 on block, and it leads into a overhead that's your best damage starter. It's absolutely crazy. This button is like a war crime button. Your crouching one, -10 on block, but it's a 7-frame startup, and it has crazy range. Your crouching 3 is like dumb range. Like, this is so much range for a low. This is really far. Your sweep is plus on block. +2 on block sweep. Insane. War crime button. Your overhead. This overhead is 2 hits. It'll break armored moves. So if people like to do like Raiden, if Raiden does like armored wake up against you, this will shut it down. It has crazy range. It's negative and punishable. -7. But you know, combined with having a really strong sweep, really strong overhead. Jax as a cameo, I'll get into this later, why Jax is strong, you know, in the 50-50 game, due to unblockables, increased, you know, damage on throws. Your 13 frame mid is kind of a weakness just because you don't have access to a really fast mid like some other characters like Johnny Cage, but it steps forward. It's not too bad. She's really good movement, dashes, so getting in on things, not too bad. The full string here, I like Jax Kameo because of this string. I'll explain that later too when I get into routing, but you know, if you finish the string, -6, not amazing, but it does go into a low, which is really strong. This string ends +2, and this sweep ends 0. So this high, you know, full, it's got a lot, it's a really good poke. You know, you can backdash into, you know, into whiff punishes, special cancelable. So you have special cancelable on, you know, different things. Special cancelable there. Special cancelable on the lows. Special cancelable on the sweep part. But that's kind of like the gist. Your armored reversal is air teleport. This is the one that's gonna ground them and then go into a cutscene. That cutscene leads into a bunch of other crazy shit with Jax, which I'll get into. And then what else is probably worth mentioning? Oh, obviously you have size. EXi, or metered Psi, is a 2-hit and it's an overhead. This will catch people, and it goes through projectiles. So if you're against like a Reiko or something and they're zoning you out, and like you can't get in close with, you know, normal like low Psi or something to go under stuff, or if like they're catching you on trying to go under it with ball, metered Psi is really strong. But that's kind of like a very broad overview of Mileena, in terms of like, you know, the super basics. In terms of like combo theory with the character, special cancel, 2-2, whoops, this is going to be a pain in the ass. That string right there is probably going to be your main ender on a lot of things. With Jax, what makes him nice is his forward cameo gives you the opportunity to, like, combo. Whoops. You can combo out of situations that normally you couldn't, such as, like, with this forward string, for example. Normally it's just, like, pretty standard basic damage. 145, gets a knockdown. With Jax Kameo, whoops. Turns into a full combo. You know, 340 on that one. You can get more. Struggling here. These inputs are whack. But you get the point. There we go. Yeah, 372. You know, meterless, 1 cameo off your mid as Mileena. It's really strong. Jax gives you the most health in the game, I believe, and he also increases your throw damage, which is nice because when you're playing this, you have a really strong 2-hit overhead and a really strong sweep, and you're playing this like 50-50 game. Every throw you get is just it's a monstrous throw, right? His unblockable game is really strong. So the way ground slam works is comes out, ground slams. If you block and crouch, you will get grounded. You'll take the 20 damage, but you'll get grounded. If you just crouch, you'll get knocked in the air. If the opponent, if I summon, oops, and it doesn't hit the opponent, Jax will stay out on screen. So this creates a bunch of really interesting, like, weird situations where, for example, metered ball is going to be, like, really important. Metered ball in corner. If I can get him to corner real quick. You can set up, you know, unblockables from this, stuff like that. What I like to do personally is, if I'm stuck in corner, the armor reversal, and then you can time a Jax Kameo. Did it wrong, but you get the idea. Like, if you're stuck in corner, you do this, you time out Jax Kameo. You know what I mean? And you just go from there. Jax is really nice because it teleports. What you can do is you can do like Jax Kameo and teleport at the same time, and you get an unblockable from off screen. This is like really cheap. I do something like this. With his forward cameos and back cameos, you can convert off stuff like this. In terms of like optimal combos, I'm still kind of labbing a lot of that out, but I've come to realize that I think my best combo, I have a couple of them posted. Whoops. But in terms of like an optimal starter for 1 bar, dropped it. This game sucks. There we go. 462. 1 bar. Really nice. I don't think it's really worth using metered psi for the 2 bars and combos unless it's very specific situations. What else? When you come out with ground pound, you can instant airball. That's really strong. I do that a lot. The way ground pound works too is that if they are in hit stun during when, oh, I guess I haven't set the block. Hold up. Sum the block real quick. So if ground pound comes out, and normally it hits, right? But if I do psi too early, it will ground them. So that's where, like, jumping over and waiting for a psi, you know, things like that come into play. Generally speaking, I think the theory behind the character is more or less like you have a lot of tools to extend pressure and to make like situations really difficult for your opponent on wake up. Single ball. Well, one ball per combo, I guess, worth mentioning. Otherwise you have to... Dude. You can loop metered Jax, which is super big. What else? Fatal blows. I guess we're talking about fatal blows. Your like fatal blow ender is usually gonna come from. This is gonna be your fatal blow ender usually, something like that. So trying to put things together. If I can actually land it. Dude. I swear inputs are bugged. At the time of recording, man, I'm getting like... I'm getting really weird inputs. Whatever. You get the idea. But yeah, hopefully this wasn't just a rambling, nonsensical video. You guys kind of like understand what I'm trying to get at. And, you know, do all the broken shit. Just do broken shit.